All right. Hey, I appreciate you joining me today. I know most of you are going to probably catch this on the replay, so I hope you can hear me and see me okay. I'm getting a couple of messages. Let's just see, give a couple of more seconds to let everyone get logged in. Hope everyone's doing well. I've been heads down. Very busy week, very exciting week, having the opportunity to talk to a couple of different groups, large groups. One, a recruiter training organization, which I'm happily and so thankful to become their AI ambassador. And this is an international group, Retrained Search. They teach professional, established recruiters and firms that are using contingency model. We don't get paid unless we actually fill the position, and they move you to a a retained search model, which is just amazing. So yesterday was our first call with them. And really, I'm just a resource for the community. And then on video, these individuals have a lot of questions, and it's exciting for me to hear them and to help them. And then I also talked to a large recruitment organization who happens to also be kind of at the executive search level. They do contingent management consultant and retained search. And I'm going to work with them to get their independent consultants, their recruiters, their associates, managing partners. We're going to go in waves, and I'm going to take the first wave and do my Recruiter DNA AI workshop, which is very exciting. And just to remind you, Larry Hernandez, Recruiter DNA, I want you to think of it as everything AI. So I'm trying to AI and recruitment. I'm trying to do everything we can. I'm trying to do everything I can to be in that space. So not only do I train and coach and do workshops on implementing AI into your workflow, helping every individual get up to speed and go from AI curious, or I use ChatGPT and the tools we use a little bit, to full on AI native. Everything I do is involving, I'm getting everything I can out of this amazing new technology. And I'll share a little bit here. Let me see the best way to share this. If you have any questions, you can just hit me up on the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, you can make a comment. You can join recruiterdna.com. It's a community. We're using the Circle platform. So you just, share a little bit of information about yourself, become a member. We've got right under 100 members now, and it's just a place to keep this conversation going. I share tips and tricks and videos. You can sign up for my courses and my training. Also, as we start growing others, I'm encouraging others to share their questions and share their experiences through the journey of this AI journey. Let's see. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go over the program. Let's see if I can make it look a little better for you. It's hard because no one's when you're doing these, because I can't tell if you can see this, but this is the latest version, and this has not been published. So if you find any mistakes, my apologies. I'm known for making grammatical errors. I have a little bit of a learning disability. I also have ADHD, and I'm trying, so bear with me. But it's not because I don't care about this. It's just because it's hard for me. So this, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started doing courses on Recruiter DNA and doing, your typical Udemy or whatever, wherever you get your courses, just kind of a video lesson. And that's what I knew how to do. My background is in recruitment and in sourcing and in contracting and consulting, not in training. And so I figured, let me just get this information out there. And we had, over 100 students go through it, and it's awesome. But I get to see the back end of the system. And unfortunately, it is true what a lot of the studies show is that individuals buy these courses because it helps us as a human think, oh, good, I bought this course and that's going to help me. But you actually have to get in there and take it. And we get busy, and it's hard to make content for everybody. So on the back end, I can see people kind of tail off, or just kind of get busy with life. The community is meant to kind of keep everyone going, but I just wasn't happy with it. I'm not doing this just to sell little courses. I really want to be a part of you personally and your teams and your organization's transformation. I don't want you to miss the boat. Um, it's already happened, and this AI is changing everything. It makes everything so much more fun and easy and engaging, and almost every day. Now it's every 2 days, but I have a wow moment, right? And so I really want to share that. That really fills my bucket to continue to learn, and then kind of play with it a little bit in my searches, and then give you that information. And so I've moved this to a workshop, right? So probably for the next, I don't know, next quarter, maybe 2 quarters, I've got some things booked already for Q4, but I really want to make this a workshop. So where basically you enroll in the course either for your team or yourself. And there's a couple of different levels. I'm still trying to solidify that and make this so it makes sense to you. But what we do is I just wanted a framework. I wanted to feel good about you getting value for your investment and your time and your energy, right? That's probably more important than the actual money. I know some people say, hey, I'll buy your course. My company gives me money. No, I want you to get in here. I really would love to be your coach through this, but there's only one of me. So the community is there to ask questions. And then what we do is when you sign up, I've created an onboarding form. And that onboarding form, you're just going to share as many details as you can, so that when we go to the workshop, I have information about, what is it you really expect to get out of this workshop? What do you want? If we could wave a magic wand, what is it that you would want AI to do? Some individuals, because of all the hype, we think, oh, everything's just automated and I hit a button. And I think we confuse the excitement of what could be at the cutting edge and what reality is here in the ground, right? So I'm going to start you from the fundamentals, right? You'll see this, the phase one is just your AI foundations. I spend a lot of time understanding the back end of these things and real technical things, so you don't have to, but really there's so much, 99% of the things you don't need to know. It just doesn't affect you and what you do yet, right? Now, yes, if you're buying and rolling these things out for an organization, there are some things we need to think about. But for you, the individual, or for you, the manager or the leader or owner of a firm, we just need to get everyone ramped up and using this with some best practices. So the first column, you see that different color blue, is basically generative AI foundations. I'll use the word AI a lot. It used to bother me, but now I'm like, hey, get with it. Because AI is not really what it is. AI is this huge, broad topic. And what we're talking about is generative AI and large language models like ChatGPT and Claude. But anyway, we're going to go through the first stage, which has 3 steps, is understanding just enough to know how ChatGPT works so you can understand its language. I say this a lot. ChatGPT and its counterparts, English it's not its first language. And language, it's not its first language. It's talking in math and tokens, in statistics and data science. So that's a big thing. And when I talk about mindset, when you get onboarded, you're going to get a free, a pre-recorded course, or we can cover it in the workshop. But you got to change your mindset from this is a technology, this is a tool, to this is a living, breathing individual who's there to help you. And I said this yesterday, and I could see some people go, almost smile, like, is this guy serious? That is the biggest switch, is don't think about this as a tool or Google search or anything else you're using. Think of this as someone who Someone has paid for an assistant, basically a team of assistants of the smartest people in the world who are at your beck and call. So all you need to do, but the only way you can communicate with them is through ChatGPT, right? So you need to understand that and think like that. That's why a lot of the big companies name their AIs, right? That's why you have Siri and Alexa, because they need you to switch that mindset to get better results for you. So we're going to teach you how to do that. And then we're going to teach you, I'm going to teach you the best practice. I'm just going to kind of give you the answers, the best practices on how to ask for things in ChatGPT. If we landed in a different country in a language you did not know, but we needed to get some work done, right? Let's just say, hey, you got to work here, but no one knows English, right? And maybe not, everyone maybe doesn't know recruiting or what you do. So start everything with that. Start with that mindset. But guess what? These people, this team you have, will work 24/7. They will not stop. They will redo things, and they have access to all the information in the world. You want an expert in any one thing, we can get it for you. But your job is to understand how to onboard them, take them through orientation as if they're a new employee for you, right? So, number two, we're going to go through cloning your writing style. And that came up yesterday. Actually, it's come up in a couple of different calls. A huge complaint or frustration from professionals is that I keep hearing AI, AI, AI. And then when I try it, the writing sucks. I can't use it. So, the company's telling me to use it. Commercials are telling me to use it. Everyone like me on LinkedIn's like, oh my gosh. And you're like, is this going to be like Bitcoin or something else where it's like, it's happening, I'm not a part of it. So I'm just going to, tell you how it works. And then we're going to do it together in the workshop. And then I'm just going to give you the answers. We're going to create a brand. We're going to transform your brand, however your company talks, into a little set of instructions that you can paste into your ChatGPT. So whenever you need something to sound like your company, it'll be there. And then we're going to do the same thing for you. Now, not everyone wants to talk like themselves, right? If you're not a great talker, if you're not a great writer, so we're just going to clone something, a style that you want to write in or talk in. And then we're going to set it up in number three. We're going to set up your ChatGPT. I realize that I have spent so much time with this technology and I'm trying to catch up. But then when I talk to ordinary individuals like you, I start saying things, and when I have you on camera, I can kind of see your head go, huh? Like custom instructions. I don't know. I've been doing this for so long that when I say custom instructions, I just assumed everyone knows what that means, but you don't, that's why we have number three. We're going to go through your ChatGPT. You could be using Claude or any of the other ones. They're all the same for the most part. And we're going to customize it. I'm going to almost like getting a new car. Now they sit and do an onboarding thing. We bought a new car not too long ago, and they're like, okay, I wanted to get out of there. No. We have to sit here and go through all the features. That way you'll give me a good survey. Well, ChatGPT was not built for how we're using it, right? This is a technology and a research tool that just kind of is out there. We're using it, right, to write emails and to do analysis and to write reports and to do things, right? So we've got to get your workplace set up, your little desk set up, and that's what we're going to do. So that's this foundations, okay? I'm going to stop for a second just to make sure that we're there's no questions. Awesome. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to do a logical approach. Now, what we can do is, let's see here. Demos are so hard to do when you're live because so many little things go wrong, but let's try it anyway. What do I want to do here? Let's open up a ChatGPT. Bear with me. And let me tell you what's very exciting here. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna hit mute and take a sip of water. Thank you for that. Um, you know what's I have found personally way more exciting than because ChatGPT has come out and there's DeepSeek and everyone's like our deep reasoning model. ChatGPT has recently come out with Operator, which is it goes out there and does things for you. That's basically like an agent. It'll go out there and look on LinkedIn and find people for you. It's slow and it's early off, but it's really cool. They've come out with deep research, which is really awesome. You can just kind of set it up for like really things that you would outsource to a researcher, and it'll do it for you. Really nice. But all that cool stuff, you know what I just have found so fascinating is the use of projects. I guess you have to be on the paid version, and Gemini has gems, and everyone has the equivalent. It's just, I don't want you to think of a project like Monday.com or anything. These are just folders. These are a way to organize your work because, as you can see, and this is just regular ChatGPT. I have mine in dark mode because I'm on it every day and it's better for my eyes. But I mean, it gets just overwhelming with all these. Every line here is a conversation I've had. So now it becomes like a big inbox, like Slack or Teams, like, why am I on this channel? Why is someone, I'm not tech support. Why am I getting all this? Well, you can search, you can go up top and search and it'll do an okay job. But that's where like Microsoft Copilot and Google Gemini, they're in your work ecosystem. So, either you're a Google person, which I tend to be more of a Google. I use Gmail and I use, Docs, Google Docs and G Drive. But I also, for some clients, have to have Microsoft. And I worked at Microsoft for a while. I still think Teams is a little clumsy, but it has gotten better. I would much rather prefer just doing Google and Slack. But hey, they both are great. So they have that built-in AI. The positive thing is it knows where you work and it's supposed to be involved in everything. The downside is you don't have you can't just open it up and tweak the instructions, right? It's kind of just like automatic. Like I tried with Excel and I'm like, no, that's not what I want. And so that's why I still tend to go back to these core large language models like ChatGPT because I can control everything and get the results I want. But they all kind of work the same. But projects, we go through it in the workshop. It's like if you're, however you organize yourself, we'll go through it. But just think of a folder. If you're an Outlook user, maybe you have a folder for every search or job you're working. If you're a recruiter, or if you're a sales, every account you have. If you're in project management, every project you work. That's what projects are, and it's really cool. You just hit the little plus button, you name it, right? And it says right there, projects keeps chats, files, and custom instructions in one place. So that is, believe me, you probably don't understand how powerful this is. I could probably just do an entire workshop, and I will, if need be, just on projects, because the issue is when you start using these tools, it's hard to stay organized. And ChatGPT has some trouble. All of them have trouble figuring out. Like I would work on, let's say, one search, right? I'm working with this company. Here's a job description. Here's all the hiring managers. Here's our Zoom call transcripts. Here's my candidate transcripts. I want to build scorecards and talent pipelines, everything that you do as a professional. And I'm loading it into a conversation. And then maybe I'll be on my phone waiting somewhere. And I'm like, oh, where we are, what is my next step with this? And it's like, welcome to Recruiter DNA. I'm like, no. We've been working on this. What, like, I want to shake it. Like, where are you? Well, it does have trouble, figuring out going through all of your chats. So projects and custom GPTs, two things that solve that. Plus, we have memory now, but it everything that you. So when I make a project, right? Let's just say I have a demo project, but so all a project is, just imagine a separate session of GPT, and I can add files, right? So definitely would say, have a set up a project for every hiring manager, however you set up, or account. Maybe you have one job with a lot of hires on it. Set it up that way. However you work, set it up that way. If you go the other way and you are maybe focusing on candidate driven, maybe you're a sourcer and your assets, your valuable artifacts are candidates. So I would have a folder for a candidate. That way, what you're doing is let's say I'm adding the file. So if I have a new search, it would be like company name, job title, and maybe the number, right? And then I would add files like the job description, past job descriptions, samples of resumes, almost like you're setting up a LinkedIn search or your ATS. You want to share all the relevant information that you have, transcripts of all the meetings, transcripts of the past meetings that you've had with this client, anything that, and remember, think about this as your assistant. Okay, you've got an assistant. And so what would you need to, when you go to sleep, they're going to be working. What are they going to need to be successful? I mean, they're going to need some things, right? So load them up here. And then you've got custom instructions, which is so cool because I talk about custom instructions. Right now, if you go to the top right of ChatGPT and go to customization, you've got this amazing little thing you can fill out. And I believe this came out in July of last year, um, in response to people like me saying, this is really cool. ChatGPT is really cool. And remember, every time I type something and every time it types back, it's using my cell phone minutes, right? It's using tokens and I'm paying for that. I'm like, every time I have to be like, I'm in the United States, I'm a recruiter, I do tech recruiter, here's what I do. I had to give it so much context in order to squeeze out the value that was exhausting. Then they came up with custom instructions. It's just an umbrella set of instructions that um, Chat GPT will have before it answers anything. So I can tell it, oh, I want you to be witty. I want you to be a straight shooter. It asks, what do you do? I'm a recruiter. I'm with Recruiter DNA. Let me tell you about Recruiter DNA. Let me give you some of my links. Once again, I'm onboarding my new employee. That way it knows things about me. The thing is, this is on or off. I guess that's binary, right? I can either enable for all chats or not. And you want it enabled for all chats. And then now my chat GPT is different than your chat GPT. That could be a song. Um, and if you ever want to have a conversation that you want it not to go through that lens of those instructions, you can just hit, where is it? There's just something called temporary chat, right? It's a new chat. And then if you don't have all these menus, don't worry about it. But here you see a temporary chat. This temporary chat is kind of like off the books, off the record, right? So ChatGPT is not going to try to memorize or learn from it, and it's not going to use a lot of the custom instructions. So whenever I want to have an off record, I do a temporary chat, like, oh, what's the capital of this? Or I'm watching a documentary. I'm like, is that true? In 19 whatever, did this really happen? I don't necessarily want ChatGPT to memorize that. And when I say memorize that, when you go to settings, personalization, it's got memory, right? So this is like a short-term memory. This is also a very new feature, cutting edge feature that you can turn off or on. And in the workshop, when we set up your workspace, we go through this and we make sure everything is right for you. And you can always change it. But once you turn memories on, and by the way, you can manage memories. So in the workshop, we're going to go through pruning those memories, because all these are memories, right? Um, and so sometimes here, like I was doing a research on a gene, um, the MTHFR mutation gene. You know what? I was doing research, but I don't necessarily want that. I don't need my assistant knowing that, right? So we can just delete it. So you have to kind of manage your employee. Think of it as a one-on-one. Let's just zap that. Don't you wish we could do that? We could just say, please just forget that, right? Like you tell your kids or something like, can we just get that away from your memory? But you can do that. So we go through that in the workshop. And then there's other things, we connected apps and all kinds of other cool things we can do. But with projects, So now we've gone through the umbrella. We've kind of customized ChatGPT to work. And what we're doing is we're investing in your new employee. So every time you use an acronym, because I know you use acronyms, or I support the DivCo group, whatever group you support, you don't have to explain it every time to ChatGPT. It just saves you time. It gives it context. You tell it your goals, and it's going to help you get there. And then in projects, we have a second chance to really hone in your assistant, right? So now when I go to project, if this was just for, I keep typing on the screen share instead of the actual screen, you've got instructions that you can put in here. Yes, you're limited by characters, but each one of these little projects can become its own little helper. I don't want to say agent, and I don't want to use the word bot, but it is your own assistant or your own focused set of instructions to get something else done. So if you were going to help your kid with math homework, I would have a project for math homework, and then I have a separate project maybe for English homework. That way I could load it up with, hey, my kids I don't have children, but I'm just trying to relate to you or brainstorm with you. But, my kids in the 7th grade, here's their school. Here's what, maybe they give you the syllabus in the beginning of the year. Load that project up and have a little homework helper. And then when you can kind of stay in tune with what your child is doing, right? You could just kind of say, where's my child? You told the custom instructions, they start school at here. It has a syllabus. You could just say, okay, it's been 3 months or today's date. What should my child be doing in homework? When your child says, I don't have any homework, I don't have any projects. You could have just cut and paste some of the emails from your school, and you'll have a way to stay on top of whatever it is. How cool is that to do with your work, right? How cool is this to do with anything you're doing, anything you're working on or caring about? So we go over that in the workshop. Making sure there's no questions. This is so hard to do when it's just me, and so much more fun when we're live, or when we're in a workshop. It's better when we're live. I'm on a podium and I can't type real well. But if you're watching this on a replay, take a second right now and say, what the heck is Larry talking about? I do get excited because I'm very passionate about this. I already know what is possible. And I know that you're over here. Like, I'm here just ahead of you because I put more time and effort. That's all. And I want you to have that aha moment. Because once you have that aha moment, and then we're in the community, in the Recruiter DNA community, we can really start solving some problems on the weekends. When I have a problem or I hear of a problem, I get on ChatGPT and these other tools, and we can really do some neat things. But I've got to get you to have a solid foundation. Now, just for a second, imagine someone who's taking the workshop and someone who's boom, 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 like me. Whatever your values are, the expectation now is that people are going to know this, right? It just reminds me of working with individuals who are awesome people, but they're not, let's say they can't type, or they're not savvy with computers, and everyone's working. Like, I remember what company did I work at, where everyone was working live in docs, right? We were doing a sourcing program, a sourcing drill, and everyone logged into the same doc because it's a shared document, and you could see everyone's pointers, and we're all working on one thing. I thought it was amazing. But there was a small group of people that were just like, what is happening? They just didn't understand what was happening, and no one explained it to them because we're all moving so fast, and they were kind of left out, right? So they were seen as, oh, they're not really contributing. That's going to happen to you. It's just a matter of time. I don't want that to happen to you. I want to help you. I want to be that one that helps you go through your AI journey. And not only me, there's a bunch of amazing other individuals. If my style doesn't gel with you, get some kind of help, get some training. This is way more important than a lot of the stuff you're working on, because we can build tools. You'll get to the point where when you run up against a problem in whatever it is you do that night or on the drive home or whatever it is, you're going to go, I wonder how ChatGPT can help me. And then you're just going to say, how can you help me? Like, my assistant's name is Jasper. one of my ChatGPT assistants. I'm like, Jasper, and I talk to it because I use my phone. Um, and I'm like, Jasper, I'm having trouble with this, this, and this. Kind of take me step by step and help me, as if it were like a paid consultant. And then and each time we work together, I correct it, and each time it's getting better and better. And even I forget to lean on ChatGPT sometimes when I'm stuck. So using your phone and talking to it is a really cool way to get stuff done. Let's see. This thing was scheduled for an hour, but let me see. I'm going to share one more thing with you here. Just kind of go through this. Okay, so I talked about phase one, which is, I'm going to teach you how to speak AI, clone your writing style, and then set up your workspace, right? Now, phase two, this particular slide is set up for a particular company that they've selected. They want me to go over, doing the intake, the research, and the sourcing, which includes the messaging. If you work a little different, maybe you only do sourcing or you only do sales, or I don't know, maybe your system's a little different. These can be altered. But phase two is where we're actually going to get into your work. You're going to bring some work with you on the workshop. And if you don't worry, I've got like dummy work we can do. And we're just going to go through your workflow, and we're going to together, I'm going to show you, and then you're going to try it. And then you're going to have it, how to get through, how to use AI just to get your work done. Right. And it's a logical approach. Just to kind of, I want you to come out of this workshop like, not like, oh, I read a book, but like, hey, this is working. I'm doing this. Look at this. I promise you, it's going to save you. And I hate when people say this, 10x. Because we don't really work like that. I mean, who has ever, you know, when have you ever gone like, hey, how you doing, Larry? Maybe we're early on a meeting call. I'm like, oh, I'm only at 3x today. How the heck do you know what X you're at, right? Only really AI can tell you where you're performing, and one day we'll be there. But what's going to help you, if it takes you, pick something that you're going to do on Friday, a report, reformat a resume. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to, my one-on-ones in an hour. I got to prepare for my one-on-one, whatever it is. I'm going to show you how to set up ChatGPT to sit there and not just get it done, but really help you understand what's going on and just up the level wherever you're at. You're just going to go up a level or two, and then there's no stopping you, right? So that's pretty exciting. Phase three, I've decided to change it, just based on talking with clients. Is that because I in the older version I continued right with like making offers, and I use phase three just to continue doing it for your work. But what I'm going to do is I'm so excited with projects, with ChatGPT projects and custom GPTs, that I decided, you know what, we're going to like build the bear, the thing where you build the bear. We're gonna create, depending on what package you pick, and really you're buying just my time, my lifetime, and my support, is we're gonna build you an assistant. We're actually I'll have some examples, whether it's turning job descriptions into amazing sourcing and research criteria, Boolean search strings, which target companies you should go after, the messaging, what should I message, interview questions, screening questions, whatever it is. Boop, 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 done. Maybe it's something else, right? But I'm gonna prepare you in three major steps. And one is, let's pick what we're gonna have, and let's logically think, almost like we're a product team building software, because that's kind of what it is. Don't stress out. You don't need anything. All you need to do is just have an open mind and be willing to share with me, be vulnerable enough to share with me some real problems, without telling me anything confidential, and then I will be able to give you and work with you, and so we can come up with real solutions. And these are solutions that you're going to get to have, and we're going to set it up, and we're going to save it, and we're going to name it, and then when I go away, if I get hit by a bus, you're going to have it, right? And then you can always copy it and adjust it. But what I'm trying to kind of fit, make this for a couple of different people. Some individuals are going to get it, and they're going to see it, and they're going to go, Larry just gave me the answers. I mean, I can use this for everything. I could start my own company. Yes, you can. Some individuals are going to be like, I don't really know what Larry's talking about. But what I do know is I told him I needed this and wanted this, and we worked together, and he gave me this thing. And now, whenever I put a resume or a job description, it matches them and gives me a score. That's pretty cool. And then, whenever I need problems, I go back to the Recruiter DNA community or I message Larry and he helps me. There's that too. But that's what we're going to do. You're going to walk away with this. Yeah, you're going to have some training material that you're probably never going to look at. It's going to be stuck somewhere in a drive, but you're going to be confident when you are given a new project, a new something that maybe, oh, I don't know everything about it. You're going to be able to use ChatGPT and you're going to feel like it's cheating. You're going to feel like you're getting away with something. That's how good it is, right? And then you're going to actually come out with some tools. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I want you to be a part of this. And then, so just so you would get these have been broken down, right? Like each one of these phases obviously is just broken down. So this is some of the part of the workbook that you're going to get to help you. But this is just when we're talking about speaking AI. We're going to actually address the struggles and how we're going to do things. So all this is included in the workshop. And then plus you're going to have an onboarding form, because some of you are doing a little bit different things, right? Some of you are working hourly jobs. Some of you are in a different part of the country. Some of you are just in a different part of your career. So by you sharing what's important to you work-wise, you will get a personalized workbook that'll help you, right? And plus I'm going to be there for support. So I will leave a link to the training, but it is just, I believe we have it at learn.recruiterdna.com. I will leave a link in the comments because you're probably watching this on replay, and I'll show you what it looks like so you'll know that you're on the right page. And I appreciate you taking the time to kind of hang in there with me. We're going to share a window. And so this is the community, right? This is the Recruiter DNA community. It looks real busy. You won't be able to see all this. We're using Circle, but you have home, you've got courses, any kind of a live events. Here's some of the members that have joined, and you can communicate with them if you want. There's a leaderboard. We're going to start as this thing gets bigger, start having some vendor prizes. But this is also where I share a lot of knowledge. Whenever I learn something new, this is where I will usually post it in where is it? Share and learn, right? So every time I come across something, the first place that it gets posted is here, right? So this is in preparation for an automation course that some of my members have asked for. They want, I think we get confused, and I meant to cover this. We get confused with automation and AI. We just think, oh, new, cool technology, right? And it's not the case. Automation has been around for a long time. Zapier and tools like that, where you just connect things and you make automation, right? So I make one of the automations I make for myself is whenever I'm done with a Zoom call for like a candidate, when it saves, I have Zapier. Zapier is just a software that connects other software, and it gives you a chance to make some rules, right? So I go to Zapier. It already has Zoom. It says connect to your Zoom. You have to log in. Zoom. Now what do you want to do? Well, connect to my Chat GPT, and I put a prompt in that says, basically, give me a candidate brief summary of this last conversation, and you can customize it and then send it to me in an email, right? And so that's automated. The only part of that was AI was my little instructions, right? If you wanted to connect every time I get an email, or a resume, have it go to Google, all these things were just saving and moving. That's not AI. AI is when you can get in there and say, respond like me, or analyze this thing. You're actually giving it something to do, to think about, or to rewrite, or to transform. That's where the AI comes in. But In any case, it's a big deal. Also, agents. Everyone's talking about agents. If you're not jamming already with ChatGPT, just kind of hold off on the agents because as you probably know, automating a bad process or automating something that's not ready is just a nightmare. So I do suggest you learn the fundamentals before we started. But as this community grows, then I can start sharing how to do more things, right? But here it is, learn. So it's just learn. This is basically what's called the landing page. It is kind of, you'll recognize the map, right? This is kind of like the sales page for the courses right now. And I'm holding off because there's one big client that's about to make a large purchase. And instead of me changing all the website and the pricing, I'm just kind of like holding off. But even maybe, what's today, Friday? Tuesday, this pricing needs to go up just because as people are booking their teams, there's only one of me, right? So these prices are definitely going to go up. And the plan is you're probably only going to have the middle tier because I think it's going to take us at least 2 live workshops to get this done. And I know you're going to have questions and I want to support you. So I'm trying to price in, 2-3 hours of my time personally, creating the personal workbooks and then being able to support you and your team. So it's going to be this, I think is going to be at $1,200 and you will have a certification at the end of it, right? This just comes with more bells and whistles and more time. And I'm throwing in some more tools, right? This is for when you're going to go all in. Here's the one that's going to suffer for now. This is going to end up being, once I run through this workshop, let's say 30, 40 times, or whenever I feel like it's tight and I really truly understand what my students are asking for and what the market asks for, then I will use all those recordings of all those workshops and I will analyze it with ChatGPT, and then we'll come up with a course. In other words, you won't really have access to me live. You'll watch the course. And so I could put that at a lower price point, right? It'll probably still be right around that number, maybe just a little higher. But you won't have, you might not have the customization of the workbook. You're not going to have the tool that we built together. You're not going to have any kind of one-on-one coaching. So this might disappear for a little while. You can buy it, but it won't be launched for another 3 months, right? So anyway, people are right now buying this to get into the workshop. So that is it. Have a great weekend. Make some notes in a journal. What would I do? What would I do if this AI thing could help me, right? Would it help you organize? Would it help you write better emails? Would it help you identify your target market? Would it help you come up, whatever it is, start writing those things down. That way, when you and I talk, you'll have some examples. But I'm here at recruiterdna.com. It's Larry Hernandez. Have a great weekend, and I will see you again next Friday. All right, this ends the live session. Have a great weekend.